Juice WRLD, otherwise known as Jared Higgins, was a
The party that needs to end.
had a message to help us. As an artist who dealt with
Okay.
the struggles with mental health,
Okay.
drug abuse, and relationships, he used his immense skill to create music to resonate with others.
Okay.
I prefer to say skill and not talent because Juice WRLD had one of the most impressive work ethics in hip-hop history.
Did you say skill and not talent? We're never reacting to one of these guys' videos again.
In relationships, he used his immense skill to create music to resonate with others. I prefer to say skill and not talent because
What does that
Juice WRLD
mean?
had one of the most impressive work ethics in hip-hop history. His album Death Race for Love was freestyled and almost completed in its entirety within 3 days of recording. Since his passing, it has been stated numerous times that he had over 3,000 unreleased tracks in the vault. Now, it has been just over 5 years now since Juice WRLD's passing. After a momentous career of having the hip-hop scene in the palm of his hand,
When was
he was
this
cut
made?
unexpectedly short
3
after
weeks
just
ago.
a 2-year run of being in the spotlight. He was dropping platinum records left and right and was on every rapper's wish list to collaborate with him in hopes of capitalizing off of his infectious hooks and high-energy verses. He had the ability to make any track his own and put any artist's name back on the charts with just a single verse. And Juice was someone who wouldn't shy away from being himself. He wore what he wanted to wear, shared his interests outside of music, and was very open about his personal life with fans. It was clear that he had many plans for the future and really wanted to get better for himself to continue doing what he loved. This is why it seriously pains me that this is even a discussion in the first place. Since Juice made such a major impact on millions of people, he made a lot of money in the process. As much as it was well-deserved, later on it was clear that after his passing, the money was put into the wrong hands. Grade A Productions is the label that signed Juice WRLD and his young grasshopper, the Kid Laroi. The label owned by the rapper Lil Bibby.
I thought he was about to go full-on crash out on Juice WRLD himself. I would have.
An integral part in the success of Juice WRLD's career. He was signed after Lil Bibby discovered Juice's biggest track to date, Lucid Dreams, on SoundCloud in 2018. Under Grade A, Juice WRLD would release his first 2 studio albums, Goodbye and Good Riddance and Death Race for Love, which are now both multi-platinum releases. After Juice's passing, Grade A would announce that they would continue to release 3 records to honor his legacy. That ended up coming in the form of 3 full-length albums now known as Legends Never Die, Fighting Demons, and The Party Never Ends. But we would also receive 2 anniversary drops for Goodbye and Good Riddance for the 1-year and 5-year anniversary. Legends Never Die was the first to be released following Juice's passing. It was the most polished record in his discography from a production standpoint, in my opinion. It was undeniable that Juice left a massive impact on those who listened to him, and he would go on to sell nearly 500,000 copies in just the first week alone. This felt like a beautiful send-off to Juice's legacy because his family and label publicly expressed their gratitude for the fans' support and love towards Juice. But that wouldn't be enough to convince the public that every move they would make moving forward would have his legacy's best interests at heart. Fighting Demons would follow it, and it just came across like a cash grab that was thrown together with no care for quality or authenticity.
It was so good,
The songs felt unfinished, and the production wasn't as strong as his album Death Race for Love, being his last project he was around for. A lot of the songs off the record sounded like demos and throwaways that weren't intended by Juice to be released the way they were left. The album cover itself just felt so unnecessary and irrelevant to any of Juice WRLD's typical imagery. The album sold significantly less in its first week and was received much worse than its first posthumous record. So when the announcement for The Party Never Ends was revealed, the general public already had a sour taste in their mouth with the way Juice's label was handling and respecting the work he left behind. And I'm sure by now, you're aware that this album released less than a month ago has been through a lot of controversy lately, regarding Juice WRLD's estate dropping the ball once again. You see, back when Legends Never Die was announced, people were confused because Juice's girlfriend at the time revealed that Juice had almost finished an album titled The Outsiders that was later put on hold for what we would end up receiving. Well, we're now on the last album of Grade A's trilogy of squeezing every last cent of Juice WRLD that they can. And all they have to do to show for it are unfinished albums that are stuck in the 2018 and early 19s era of Juice's career. I mean, he was only 19 years old here, and he would have been almost 26 at the time of this album's release. We never got to hear where Juice intended his sound to go with The Outsiders, and instead the estate has been milking Juice's signature sound for the best part of 4 years now. At this point, we have more solo studio albums under his name since his passing than when he was still with us. Almost every aspect of this release cycle has been disrespectful and unfaithful to Juice's legacy for many reasons. For one, the covers for the Pre-Party and The Party It Never Ends are some of the worst album covers I've seen this year. They took the most basic details of what an old person thinks an emo kid is and just threw it on the cover. And besides that, there are plenty of details about this that just scream laziness and lack of inspiration.
He's not wrong.
The album's art by Takashi Murakami is like a PNG of a galaxy with a purple tint over it. How are these two album covers made by the same person? It makes no sense.
Exactly.
The outer glow on Juice makes it look like a YouTube thumbnail, and not to be disrespectful, but I don't think Juice was ever built like this.
Because he wasn't.
It's just an ugly blending of colors and characters that just leaves it as an absolute eyesore and disappointment. And now for the music. I know it's difficult to handle posthumous albums when the expectations are so high, but there is a right way to do it. Mac Miller's estate is the #1 example of doing it right. His family is in full control, and they are strictly sticking to finished work that has never made its way onto streaming platforms, just giving fans of Mac easier access to his work that he intended to have fans listen to. But instead, we got a playlist of unreleased songs that just lack identity. And to make it even worse, Grade A plans on releasing a deluxe for this album. To make it even worse, the fans get to vote on the tracks that will be on it. The fact that you have failed time and time again to manage Juice's name for yourself, and now you've resorted to letting the fans
How does he
pick the
know
tracks
this?
they've already
Ray
heard
did his
onto
research.
streaming services just for you to make money is just the cherry on top. I can't stand this happening time and time again at this point, to any artist at that. Tyler, the Creator himself, has stated that he put in his will that he disapproves of any posthumous records being released under his name. Now, I don't know how much this carries over in the contractual side of things, but this should be enough evidence that most artists don't want labels messing with their music. You're just letting everyone down, and by the looks of it, this new album is being outstreamed by an album he released over 6 years ago already. For the future of
True.
Juice's legacy, I really wish the best. I'm not really sure what the estate intends to do after the Grade A Productions trilogy of Juice WRLD projects are fully complete. For me, I will continue to enjoy what Juice left behind himself and respect the amount of love and passion that went into his message. Besides that, I want to say that I'm glad most of his fans have spoken out about the treatment of his legacy these past few years. Juice WRLD was a titan in the music industry,
Everyone
and
has.
if he was still around today, he could have been bigger than he ever was.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that we as friends and family can continue to confront these issues of mental health and substance abuse moving forward. Always be there for your loved ones and never let them out of your sight. I really appreciate every one of you guys coming through and watching the entire video to the end, and I want to wish you guys...
Okay. I thought he was about to disrespect Juice himself. I didn't know he was going to talk about the label and stuff, so we're cool. Maybe we'll watch another one of his videos another time.